Yes, sir. Mod Trekker back up in this thing, man. Today, I'm reacting to some creepy videos that have the entire internet up in arms. Let's get it.
There's no doubt that one of the greatest young minds in music history was influenced by numerology and astrology himself in the occult, correct?
Correct.
This is his mother telling you this. Beautiful.
XXXTentacion's mom shows this man all of his books, and it's all about witchcraft, the occult, numerology, astrology, Aleister Crowley, and the list goes on. If you don't know who he is, he was one of the biggest names in the hip-hop industry, and he at an extremely young age. I have a 3-part series about him on my page, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But before he passed, when he was in jail, he had his friend give him instructions for his sacrifice ritual, and after seeing all these books, it makes a lot of sense now. Now I'll let you watch the rest of the clip.
Book, if you have an idea of where his mind was and the things that he found interesting.
So he was definitely into the occult, numerology, and astrology.
Everything. And there's more here. Magic of believing. 48 laws of power, mythology, magic, astrology.
And where's the book that he gave you?
I'm looking for it.
This is honestly a warning to be very cautious before you get into the occult, because yes, he got all the money and fame and power, but in the end, he paid the ultimate price. It's not worth it to me.
This is the massive Black Friday ripping you off update. Buckle up because they're taking all your money. So in this first video, she's at Old Navy. It's 50% off these clothes, but it's actually not. Watch.
Yeah, from $10, $9.99. But then I look at this one, and the tag before it, it says $5, and they put a $10 tag on top of it.
Old Navy, how could you? Next, we got a Switch controller that's at the low price of cost. Watch.
Oh, wow, low price of $79.99. What is
Then even Kohl's got into this. These $108 coats, even with the Black Friday discount, are more expensive than they used to be. Watch.
Oh, that's so I can peel this off. Or peel it, or just peel it off.
Watch. Look.
We're assuming.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, there is. 4860. What?
Look.
4860. And then they're priced at 108. They were clearance at 4860. And if you 108.64. Wow, fuck you, Kohl's.
And then the video that started all of this yesterday, with this TV costing the low Black Friday price of exactly the same. Watch.
I've always felt that Black Friday was a little too good to be true, because I don't necessarily believe that corporations have the consumer's best interest at heart, but this is the nail in the coffin. I hope the same isn't true for Cyber Monday.
Ellen DeGeneres is supposed to be related to all the Rothschilds. No! So there's a big theory going on right now, because you know how Ellen was like the sweetheart.
Yeah.
Everyone loved her. She was like our favorite host, right? But recently...
She was canceled.
Yeah, she was canceled because... Every time she had like a engagement with a fan, she was mean to staff. Like it was all bad reviews, right? So I'm gonna read you Ellen's family tree. Distant relative is Jane Seymour, so who became the third wife of Henry V after Anne Boleyn was.
Wait, the king? King Henry?
The King Henry. Amelia Earhart.
No way.
Her 8th cousin.
What?
And she's also cousins of.
Oh, that's the Duchess. Prince William's
wife?
Yeah,
Prince William's wife. She's related to all these people, and people dug even deeper where they found her name, grandson of the Rothschild.
We're starting to figure out more and more how many people in power and celebrities are actually related through these bloodlines, but we also have to consider that they subscribe to the same agenda and that they push the same agenda.
Y'all, they is blowing out snow. They is blowing out snow. They are blowing out snow. Y'all, look at this. They is blowing out snow. Look at the snow machines. And then they try to do it this late because they didn't think people was going to be out here.
I know they have snow machines at ski lodges, but I've never seen them in a neighborhood like this. Heart must be on a budget if they got to resort to this to make snow.
If you've got like some version 10 Neuralink, whatever, far in the future, you could recall everything, but just like it's a movie.
Crystal clear.
Including the entire sensory experience.
Emotions.
Everything.
Everything.
And play it back.
Do you think you'll be able to share?
You can edit it.
Edit it.
Yeah.
So you can change your past?
You could change what you think was your past, yeah.
So if you have like
this
a traumatic
whole thing
experience,
right now could be a replayed memory.
It could be.
Yeah.
It may be. What's the odds of this being a replayed memory? If you had to guess. It's more than 50%.
There's no way to assign a probability with accuracy here.
Right, but roughly.
Well, I don't have a Neuralink in my brain, so I'd say right now 0%. But at the point at which you do have a Neuralink, then it rises above 0%.
MK Ultra and mind control would be a lot easier if you had a programmable microchip, so I'll pass.
This is the Mickelson Safeguard Complex in North Dakota. This place was originally created in 1975 as a way to deter missiles. But here's the weird part. This site cost $6 billion to make. Mysteriously, the site was only operational for a single day. It opened on October 1st, 1975, and then closed down the next day on October 2nd, 1975. Really gonna try to tell me that the government dropped $6 billion on this place just to keep it operational for less than 24 hours? But for real, just look at this place. Like, are you serious? Many people have theorized that this could be a possible headquarters for the Illuminati, given its extremely close resemblance to the pyramid that's commonly associated with them. Also guys, when I was doing research on this place, I clicked on their website, and what came up I can't show on TikTok, but go look it up for yourselves, it'll creep you out.
There could be an entire tunnel system underground that's still in use, because that doesn't look like $6 billion worth of construction.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood that nobody knows about. And if they did, it might not exist anymore.
There's a lot of people that have a pretty good idea of what goes on in Hollywood, but maybe the reason why it's still thriving is that the people who have the power to stop it are participating.
And are you familiar with the Mandela effect? Yeah, of course. Millions of people remember certain events that never happened. And so how do you explain that? As we go through our conscious progression, as we raise consciousness, the way we perceive the world, and therefore all that will exist in our world, will morph to that new resonance as a sympathetic resonance. So certain aspects of the old world will just no longer exist. And so we can still have a phantom memory of those experiences, whether it's like Jiffy peanut butter or Luke, I am your father, which he never said that, right? All these things like that literally just like fall out of your new frequency. Because everything in your world around you, including time itself, is retrocausal. The world around you that is no longer fitting your frequency will disintegrate and dissolve.
I'm sure a change in perception and elevating your consciousness has something to do with it, but let's not forget that CERN made an entire music video where they pretty much took credit for it.
This is Jekyll Island, where in 1910, representatives from the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Morgans, and other private bankers gathered secretly to draft the legislation that would create the Federal Reserve. I found it revealing that in the same year the Federal Reserve was founded, 1913, the Internal Revenue Service was also established.
The problem is we have a privately owned central bank system in the United States disguised as a government-owned system. Now, if you look in the telephone book here in the Washington, D.C. area, you look up for Federal Reserve in the blue government pages, it's not there. It's in the white pages right next to Federal Express. It's a privately owned central bank.
Whenever politicians get this much unchecked freedom and power, they usually only use it to benefit a few elites. This should have automatically been on the ballot for the citizens to vote.
Questions after a 911 call in Pueblo from a funeral home and cemetery. August 11th, just before 3:30 in the morning, the police department communications center got a call that they refer to as abandoned, meaning the other person hung up. So they called back, got an answer, and heard mostly static.
Hello?
An officer was sent out to check out the funeral home and cemetery and says it was locked up and dark with no one in sight.
I highly doubt that police officer actually stopped, got out of his car, and checked the door, because if it was me, I would just do a drive-by, and if the coast looked clear, I would just keep it moving. Kind of looks like a detached tail from a black cat or a furry snake or something.
Cops warn anyone who tampers with the 420-pound robot.
If you come here and you want to damage K5 or commit any crime in the subway system, prepare to be identified and arrested.
He should have never said this, because New Yorkers are about to take this as a personal challenge. I'll give it 2 days tops. It's almost like the simulation realized it was still daytime and the moon wasn't supposed to be up yet.
In 2003, DARPA was soliciting proposals for their new project called LifeLog. The objective of LifeLog was to trace threads of an individual's life in terms of relationships, states, events, and more. LifeLog's main goal was data capture, including photo, video, GPS location, and even biomedical sensors. DARPA literally described LifeLog as, quote, a multimedia diary and scrapbook. But on February 4th, 2004, Wired reported that the Pentagon decided to the LifeLog project. And on February 4th, 2004, Facebook was founded. And in 2016, the former head of DARPA quit her job at Google to go work for, you guessed it, Facebook.
And I'm about to start changing my information on purpose just to throw them off.
Prado says it's not illegal to create a biological lab.
Oh, we're now learning more about a biological lab in Wheatley that's been shut down by the Fresno County Department of Public Health. Fox 26 reporter Rich Rodriguez explains what kind of testing took place for months in the warehouse no one in town says they knew about.
From October 2022 until spring 2023, this warehouse at 850 Ag Street in Reedley was operating a biological lab. It was a well-kept secret. After seeing signs of activity there, the city of Reedley asked Fresno County Department of Public Health to investigate.
Just a significant amount of over like 36 refrigerator freezers.
I'm not sure what they were using this for, but having a biolab in the middle of a neighborhood on a main street with no extra security seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
The Vatican archives. In the 1920s, there's a Russian professor, his name was Gingrich Ludwig. He was able to have access to the archives. 12 centuries of European history. He walked up on this one section, which was ancient books about aliens, and he came across the craziest stuff. These books talked about how these star people coming down in crafts taught all the ancient civilizations how to build the pyramids and taught the Mayans things and like all this crazy stuff. And then, this is what I thought was the craziest part, but he writes down that these things had these weapons, and I guess they used it once on Babylon, and said that this weapon that these things possessed melted the walls of Babylon with the amount of energy and heat that they produced.
I don't know how true this is because the Vatican goes through great lengths to keep the archives protected, so if they did allow him access, I don't think they'd be too happy about him telling everybody what he saw without repercussions. I think the first clip is fake, the second clip could be like a saltwater crocodile or something, and the third clip is just nightmare fuel.
This symbol is the devil, and this is the exact same symbol that Aiden Ross used live on stream while holding money. He would repeatedly pull out stacks of money while doing this symbol live on stream. Now, due to popular belief, a lot of people think that this symbol represents the devil and signing away your soul to the devil. Now, as weird as that sounds, a lot of rappers and industry people have used this. Even some of the most popular ones. Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Rihanna, Katy Perry. A lot of people have used it. Now, whether or not it's a coincidence, who knows? But all we know is that a lot of people have said that Adin Ross has been moving a little weird lately. Could this be why? And if so, hopefully it's not too late to turn back. But maybe it's just a conspiracy.
It's hard to argue that this hand sign is not demonic when he put it up to his forehead like devil horns.
During the 18-month trial, Gates gave hours of videotaped testimony.
What were the non-Microsoft browsers that you were concerned about in January of 1996?
That month.
Yes, sir.
And what about it?
What non-Microsoft browsers were you concerned about in January of 1996?
I don't know what you mean concerned.
What is it about the word concerned that you don't understand?
I'm not sure what you mean by it.
The Justice Department has charged Microsoft with engaging in anti-competitive and exclusionary practices designed to maintain its monopoly in personal computer operating systems.
If he was able to build the largest computer company in the world, then he definitely knows what he means by the word concern. That just looks guilty.
I don't know what you mean concerned.
Michael Aquino was a high-level officer in the National Security Agency. He was and is, you'll see him today, a practicing Satanist. He created the Satanic Temple of Set, which he still runs. He was a high-level NSA officer. He's a member of the association I used to be in, the Association of Former Intelligence Officers, AFIO. He's a member of that. He's plugged in big time to the intelligence community, and he wrote a paper called Mind, and Mind about psychological operations against populations, including the domestic population, using Satanist techniques and tools.
Aquino was first involved in MK-Ultra operations during the Vietnam as part of the Phoenix program.
Well, I've been involved in intelligence and psychological operations for about 40 years in all levels of it and across the intelligence community.
You are a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army.
Correct.
Now.
I mean, people can believe in whatever they want, but when your job is to oversee hundreds of millions of people, you just hope their intentions are good. And looking at those eyebrows, I'm not sure.
So to say that someone with horse and buggy with no experience, no crew, no power tools, made that traveling 700 miles each way, how much water are we talking here that horses need to drink? When you do the math of their timeline and their narrative, everything falls apart. This whole world was flooded. And it brought up a new level. That's why they find temples all the time under the ocean. What does that tell you? What, someone built it under the ocean? No. Our water and our land was raised up, and now we're on this new level of life. And they destroyed most of the old world buildings, but the ones they didn't, all of the evidence is right in your face. You could walk up to a building and go, yeah, there it is.
Especially some of the smaller cities. There's a lot of great architecture in the smaller cities that make no sense. Like you have this gorgeous building that right next to it is like a Dunkin' Donuts, and you're like, what? Like,
man, we're getting better.
The mud flood Great Reset theory sounds plausible to me because we never see any photos from the construction process, which makes me think that these buildings might be a lot older than what we've been told. Any bug this size and that sounds like a helicopter when it's flapping his wings should never be a pet.
And were told to listen to their god, the Lord of the Rings, so they were wearing an ear ring. Men were to get married before Saturn, their god, so they would wear a wedding ring. Consequently, the king would be crowned before Saturn. Saturn would be the round crown of the corona, the ring. We know that Saturn was referred to as El. E-L. El is a name that was given to the planet Saturn. And therefore, if you are worshiping Saturn, you represent the law. You are referred to in church today as an elder. How did you get to be an elder? You got to be an elder because you were one of the elites. How did you get to be an elite? You got elected. Because through elections, all of our system is based on occult, mystical words and terms going back to the planet Saturn, going back to the Phoenician Canaanite system of banking.
Kind of feels like we've all been tricked into participating in occult practices through our language, bro. That's the ultimate deception.
โอ้ขับงูใหญ่โตมันอยู่ได้ล่ะนี่หมุนปลามันสิเบ็ด
I don't know if that's just snake skin, bro. It's at least 80 feet long. That's more like dragon skin.
Did the Mars images, and they found that there were these obelisks and strange-looking objects on Mars.
Mars, 1 million years BC. I didn't know it was a Mars target. And the first set of coordinates was 44.89 degrees, 9.55 degrees west, pyramid form, sitting in a large depression. It's yellowish ochre colored. I get clouds, a severe storm, major geological trauma. Gee, is this a new pyramid? Did they discover a new pyramid? Because it's really large.
I went out to the Goddard Space Flight Center here outside D.C. to meet with Mark Carlotta and some other scientists there. And they said, yep, it's been pixelated out for the public, but there are structures there. Though very ancient, but we're talking millions of years old.
They're an ancient people trying to survive that's past their time and age. They're waiting for the return of someone sent to find a new home.
And a man came up to me from JPL, Jet Propulsion Labs, and I didn't know him. He knew who I was and said, Dr. Greer, here's the issue. You're right, those exist, but we can't disclose that. I said, why? It's not an operational ET device. It's not, it's old. He says, yes, but you don't understand how powerful that this information is. I said, why? He says, if this was disclosed, it would collapse the fundamentalist orthodox belief systems of every religion on earth. What? This science and this evidence is being kept secret for religious reasons? He says, yes.
If this is true, then it would make a lot of sense why SpaceX and NASA want to go back to Mars so bad so they can claim all the relics for themselves.
Away from the window, turn off the lights in the spacecraft, and appeared to be halfway to the moon when in fact they were in Earth orbit.
Huh, really?
Yeah, and they said it was the same way that you did it on Apollo 10. So we wanted to give you the opportunity to put your left hand on the Bible, to raise your right hand, to swear to God. Well, you were giving an opportunity to swear to God under oath that you walked on the moon. I don't do that.
He inadvertently just answered the question. Him running away like that speaks volumes.
The biggest dangers to the planet today is this technological utopia, because probably for the elite it will work. If bad comes to worst, when the flood comes, the scientists will build a Noah's Ark for the elite, leaving the rest to the rest of the people and then the rest of the ecosystem. But they are likely to be able to construct this technological Noah's Ark, which is probably what much of the elite is counting on.
It's not just going to be for elites, because I'm going to find a way on there, even if I got to dress up as a staff member.
She started growling at us, which she didn't do, never does. So she was acting very weird about it.
She's digging. Mackie, oh my god, she is.
It's coming from where Kaya was digging.
It is. Amanda, what is that? Amanda, what is that?
I saw that we shoveled out the dirt, and we could see that the shovel was catching on some sort of string. So we stopped everything we were doing, and we started pulling on the string.
Could these strange threads be casting a dark spell over Mackie's childhood home?
Every couple of inches, there was a different item tied into the rope. There was feathers, bones.
What's tied into it? Wait. What's tied into it? And this is like cloth again. Wait, it's a shirt. Oh my god. This is not a shirt. No. This is a tag from a shirt. On the back. No, it's hard.
I know. And look at, I don't know. It looks like little joints. I thought there's absolutely no way that this is a bone tied into string until we hit it on the ground. It kind of. Do we need to find the other one that we threw in here? It sounded hollow. We dropped it and it sounded hollow. It didn't sound like metal. It didn't sound like wood. It sounded like a bone.
I don't know if I would keep digging.
Terrified by what their findings might represent, Mackie and Amanda turned to their social media followers for advice.
So after we posted the video, comment after comment, I mean, we were getting emails, messages. People were telling us we had dug up a witch's ladder. Neither of us had ever heard of one.
According to folklore, a witch's ladder is made up of knots, each one containing a spell.
They can do really bad things with these spells or really good things.
I bet they regret picking it up with their bare hands after finding out it was a 5-spell witch's ladder, bro. We know what curiosity did to the cat. I'm good.
This sure wasn't bad enough. Now it's got to look like the end of the world, too. Man. I just had to say something, didn't I?
I would have to be cautious around him if he was my friend, because I've never seen somebody jinx the weather into a biblical storm. But with that being said, guys, that was the video. Thank you for coming to kick it with me. Let me know what you guys thought about these creepy TikToks in the comments below. And until next time, y'all take care of yourself.